Family, she come over under the boat. Someone came over under the boat. Someone came over into the boat. Grandpa, we don't know if he was under or in. But he came over.
But why did they come?
Just like the chicken. Why did he cry?
No, really. Why did they want to come to the U.S.?
Because she had a shot.
But you're behind the eight ball for a long time. In America was growing. The opportunity was there. They're starving. I used to see pictures of old Italian women taking a, what do they call those damn things? A wheelbarrow full of money to go buy bread because that's how poor the money was. The lira was nothing. So Europe was in the hole. People started hearing about America. They wanted to come on over, and the opportunity. The time America had opened up its lovingly arms to people from other countries that wanted to come on over. The process was you came over and you first went to Ellis Island. And at Ellis Island, there was a lot of questions asked. You took some basic physical things. And if they couldn't prove you had a record or was wanted in the other country and you passed the basic physical stuff, they recorded you, and that's where you can go to Ellis Island and see all the people that came out. Matter of fact, we just saw a special the other day, right? And you can go over there. They have records. They've taken all the signatures, the books, because everything was.
But I've looked for our names, and our names are not on like the registry.
I can tell you this much: there's probably a whole bunch of people.
They came on the backside of the dock.
They changed their names once they got here.
It could be part of that, but you have to realize the system. How many of those people really cared? They might have been tired and said, "Yo, what's your name?" They might have wrote it. They may not have wrote it. So it was not. It was a very imperfect system.
Where and why?
Shut up.
Where did our family come from, and how do you know?
Do you want it broken down?
Wait, really?
My family comes from Italy. My grandfather comes from Rome. My grandmother came from Naples. My other grandfather came from Naples, and my other grandmother was born here in the United States.
And you know that because...
I know that because that's where they told us they came from. And it's a stupid question. It is, because how... Well, no, who's ever decided that? How do you know? I wasn't there when they were born.
He's on the census. All right, moving on.
This interview is going great. Next question. How many generations can you trace back from your parents in like names and things?
How many generations is it? Only two, really. There's my parents and then my grandparents.
And you know your grandparents were born in Italy, or no?
That's what I was told. Yes, they're born in Italy.
What are their names?
What are their names?
Of my great-grandparents?
Yeah.
On my father's side, my grandfather was Paul. His father was Peter. That's how my father got the name, and I got the name Peter.
Peter Bull.
Wait, so you're Peter the second?
We got confused with that. You really can't be the second.
You're a junior.
Do you want the answer? You can't be the second unless you have the full name. So I think they all had like Peter, Paul something, Peter, John something. So.
Have any genealogy records, and if so, where are they?
I don't have any genealogy records. Somebody in the family might, but I don't have any.
Do we have any veterans in the family?
Yes, we do.
Peter and Joe.
Care to elaborate?
Two uncles. My uncles. You want their names?
Yeah, sure.
You don't do a very good job interviewing. You have to be more explanatory. Okay, my Uncle Jerry and my Uncle Dick.
What wars were they in?
World War I for Uncle Jerry, and World War II for Uncle Jerry, and World War II for Uncle Dick.
Can you share any stories about our family?
No.
Grandpa, please.
Peter.
What kind of a story would you like?
We don't air the family business. You know.
Oh my gosh, any stories?
Okay. This has got to be kept between us. Uncle Louie hit Jimmy Hoffa, and I know where he's buried.
Stop! No, please,
Come on,
real
be
story.
serious.
They don't even know who Jimmy Hoffa is.
You got a strange family, Sutton.
And we
Do you have any interesting, fun stories to
Why
share?
don't
Did
you
I
talk
see
about
your
your family
cat
traditions
colonized?
at Christmas or something like that?
Tell
No?
us a Merry Christmas. Have you still?
Fun stories. I don't think fun stories are just talking about family traditions. All right, just let me tell you, I come from a very large family. My grandmother and grandfather on one side had 17 kids. And the other side of the family, my father's had 8 kids. And we would always get together for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And all, what's so funny? You want funny stories, you're gonna laugh though, right? And they used to get together, all of us, all the kids, and I can tell you, there must have been at least 25 kids on each side. And we'd always go out in the yard and play, do something, and they'd always yell and scream at us because we would get dirty and messy, and it was a holiday or something, and they wouldn't want us to. Well,
Like
Who?
he snuck onto the ship, and then he met this rich girl.
She's a rich girl.
And you gone too far, cause you
That's
You
just
don't-
the plot of Titanic, Dad.
you don't want me to make up stuff, yeah.
Oh, it would make for a good story.
And he drowned in the water, and she
Yeah,
made it
saved
over.
her.
That was Aunt Lucy, yeah.
you can relax.
Erie side, okay? I don't know for sure the Belciano side. Yes, I do know the Belciano side too. They had relatives, some of them had relatives here already in this area. So that's why some of them settled in New Jersey and some of them settled in New York, because they had relatives already here. But I can't tell you the truth, I don't know who those relatives were. I think they were brothers or sisters to my grandparents, that kind of thing.
With the guy that got adopted.
My grandfather,
Yeah.
on my father's side.
Can you talk about that?
The only thing I know about him is that he came over by himself. And supposedly his parents, he didn't have parents. He was an orphan. And he was adopted by a family, I think over there, and of course that's why he came over here, because his adopted family was here.
One final question. Is our family part of the Italian Mafia?
It's not funny. Turn the camera off.
You have to understand what that exactly means.
You're born to it.
This is serious stuff. I'll explain it to you if you want.
Yeah,
The family,
You don't hear the business. You do it.
Come on, this is good.
Come on, I want to hear this.
No comment.
We talk about outside stuff with the outsiders.
no, I was going to try and explain the family and who are connected and who isn't.
Okay, let's do that.
On short, yes. Turn off
Because-
the camera.
It's not easy to explain. To be part of the family, you have to be accepted into the family, okay? And it's not family from blood, it's family from an organization.
Yeah, so was your family accepted?
What?
I have these flashbacks of why am I here, and why am I back in North New Jersey or something.
You're smart.
But anyway,
They just
let me
showed
just explain
fans.
that to you, that there are some family members that are connected and have relationships with people that are in organized crime
Okay.
without committing to anything. I was just trying to explain. You guys understand the difference between a family, okay? I'm not part of the family, but if I need a favor, there's people I can call, okay? And I could say, hey, would you do something for me? And they would. I'm not saying what it is, because I'm not going to tell you that, but I don't belong to the family, so nobody can call me up and say, hey, you're part of the family. We don't like the guy next door, take your gun out and go blow him away. I can say, yeah, I got no ties to you guys, okay? I just try and explain how it works. You know that, right?
It's the best of both worlds.
Exactly. I like this.
But I have family members that, the only thing I would say will have connections.
Yes, we've all known that.
So when you say connections, that means they're part of that family.
What we want to know is who ate the gabagool.
What's haunted our family for years is who stole the cannoli?
Are you in the mafia?
I am not.
You sure?
He told me.
I'm sure there's a lot of history, a lot of things that went on that were funny and serious and important, but it wasn't the time and the generations that did that kind of communication. Our grandparents back then were a little bit more quieter and kept to themselves, or to the people of their own generation, rather than telling us kids down the road some of the things that happened.